Hey guys, today I'm going to cover a topic that I know is a big concern for a lot of sellers, and that is listing hijacking. After you've spent weeks and months of working hard to prepare and launch a product, have it shipped into Amazon and finally start selling, the last thing you want is someone else to come in and be selling cheap knockoffs of your product and taking over the listing. As bad as this sounds, there are some ways that you can protect against this. Step 1. Make your listing hard to copy by bundling. Usually hijackers are opportunistic by nature, looking for easy products to copy. If you've bundled your product together with another, then that means you've found two different suppliers, you've got one to send a product to the other, and then got that supplier to package them all together and then send them off. It's a lot more work, a lot more hassle, and therefore harder to copy. Here's an example. You've got this one listing that sells this light by itself. This would be fairly easy to hijack. On the other hand, you've got this listing which is bundled in UV glasses and a battery, and therefore harder to hijack. If someone tried to hijack this listing and didn't include the bundled items, customers would complain, Amazon would step in, and this hijacker wouldn't last long. This is also a great way to differentiate your product from other competition in your niche. Step 2. Branding. Branding is super important to help prevent hijackers from taking over your listing. By having your branding on your product and on customized packaging, again, it makes it harder for a hijacker to copy. Another great thing to do is to utilize Amazon's brand registry. Brand registry proves that you are the owner of the brand you are selling. If a customer purchases your product and then decides to sell it off, they can technically do this on your listing. However, it does stop anyone from claiming to be the actual brand owner. The final part of branding is consider filing for copyright or trademark protection within the country that you're selling. That way, if someone tries to copy your product, you do have some legal recourse to follow up. And then even without involving a lawyer, you could send them a strong cease and desist letter, which may scare them away from your listing without having to take any further action. As with all these tips, it's very difficult to stop hijackers entirely. However, the point here is to place as many roadblocks in their way as possible, and hopefully make it less likely for them to target you. Step 3. Develop a good relationship with your supplier. So by developing relationships with your supplier, they're going to be more likely to tell you if someone else is trying to source your product or if there are any hijackers lurking. We've seen examples where a seller contacted a number of suppliers for a new product, and then they happen to receive a cease and desist letter by another Amazon seller warning them about copying their product. In this instance, it was quite clear that one of the suppliers they'd contacted had a client that was already selling their product, and they'd notified their client that someone else was looking to sell that product as well. They clearly had a strong relationship, and this is the type of relationship you want to build with your supplier. Particularly if your supplier is in China, they really value strong relationships. These kind of relationships can't be built overnight. They might take months or years, but it's certainly worth investing the time into it. Step 4. List your UPCs on your website. Don't worry if you don't have a website. It doesn't have to be a fully fledged one. It can be a free one, like Wix for instance. But create a page on that website and list your UPC or EAN codes on that page and the products that are linked to them. Even include photos of the products if you can. By doing this, in the event of a hijacking, you can point Amazon to your website to further verify your ownership. So there are 4 ways that you can stop hijackers in their tracks. Do you know any other strategies? If so, put them in the comments below so that we can share the information round. If you've enjoyed today's video and want to see more like it, make sure you subscribe to Jungle Scout. Happy selling!